There it goes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this very special broadcast of IL-2 Sturmovik. I'm Soul Bad Greg, and tonight we're going to be doing a little bit of flight simming from this treasured World War II game in honor of the late great Chuck Yeager, a famed World War II ace, and the first man to be credited with breaking the sound barrier in the, I believe it's called the Bell X-1. He unfortunately passed away yesterday at the age of 97. So, hey, Callie, pleasure to see you. Welcome to the dance floor. We're just going to be going through this old but very treasured um, World War II air combat game, IL-2 Sturmovik. Oh, I see. That's very cool. Thank you. Wasn't wasn't streaming at the time you sent it. It looks like. But I do appreciate it. That's great. Welcome to have everyone here. If you don't know, um, Chuck Yeager passed away yesterday. Chuck Yeager was one of my heroes growing up as a kid. Because I grew up, in a aviation household. My dad's a huge fan of aviation. Much of my family has served in the Air Force, so it's what we follow. And Chuck Yeager was one of those guys from uh, he was one of those World War II aces, and eventually got involved with the supersonic project to figure out how to get aircraft to fly faster than the speed of sound and have it not become completely useless. Um, although a misconception that people seem to have is that people think that Chuck Yeager was the first person to break the sound barrier, which, if you don't know, that's roughly you're roughly going about 700 miles an hour, or that's roughly around like 600 and I think what 60 something or 50 something knots, which is nautical miles, which technically isn't 100% correct. I believe he was the first person credited with being recorded as breaking the sound barrier. Um, there have been plenty of instances in World War II where fighter pilots, when going into dives, accelerated at such a pace that their aircraft would be caught in a Mach cone, and all their surfaces would essentially become sluggish or even just go dead because of the way airflow changes around an airplane once it goes beyond the speed of sound. It costs a lot of pilots their lives, unfortunately, as they go into a dive that became unrecoverable. But I believe several of them described uh, situations where it basically sounded like they did break the sound barrier. Just it was still such a novel concept back then, and it wasn't truly understood better and not truly confirmed that yes, somebody did manage to break the sound barrier, until Chuck Yeager and his X1 achieved it in the I believe the 50s. So what we're gonna do tonight is we're gonna bring up a single player mission. We're gonna do a little bit of recreation, based off of his most famous, well, I'd say most famous, but let's see. Oh no, what we want to do is we want to completely create it. Here you go. Quick mission builder. So during Chuck Yeager's wartime career, he managed to shoot down. He was credited with 11 and a half kills. I think the half was because it was. I don't think it was 100% confirmed whether or not he successfully shot it down, but I think it was credited with half. I think. I believe that's the case. But probably the most noteworthy that sticks out of most people's minds, at least when talking about myself, is that he went up against the very first um, uh, jet fighter that was put into production by Germany. So flying his prop-driven aircraft, the P-51D Mustang, he went up against the much faster uh, Me-262 uh, Messerschmitt jet fighters, first of its kind ever deployed in a theater of battle. And he managed to shoot. I know he got one of them confirmed as a kill. The other one, I think that might have been where the half comes from. He did manage to shoot it and damage it. I don't know if it was confirmed if that one was destroyed. I did have a document in front of me that had the statistics and the facts, but unfortunately, it's nowhere to be found now. I don't know how to bring it back up, so I'm just kind of going off of memory. So what we're going to do is we're going to recreate that. And if anyone in chat knows better, um, has a better understanding of how what the situations may be, feel free to let me know in the comments. All right, so we'll just leave this to default. All right, so we're going to be the allies. Oop. All right, what we want is, let's see. USSR. We are definitely not USSR. We're the United States Army Air Force. Oh, well, thanks for sticking around and just hearing a little bit of that. Yeah, part of these little remembrance videos I do is just to try and, get a little bit of history in there along with gameplay of things that are going on. Like yesterday I did one remembering Pearl Harbor and the events around that. Tonight I hope to at least somewhat successfully play some IL-2 Sturmovik while talking about a great World War II ace, as well as the first recognized pilot to successfully break the sound barrier. So, but oh, absolutely. Yeah, I definitely will. I plan on releasing this stuff via YouTube. I don't know how good it's going to be. A lot of this stuff's kind of off the cuff, and I tend to just trail and go every which way with it. But I try and stay somewhat consistent with how I present my information. Let's see. I don't think they have specifically. Do they got the one that he served in? It'll be interesting to see. Okay. All right. You have a good night. I will see you later. Okay. Let's double check here. I'm gonna bring up. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. What did he fly for? Which one? Okay, so it looks like he was with the The 363rd Fighter Squadron. Let's see. The 363rd Fighter Squadron completed its final 2 months of training at Casper, Wyoming. For his unit headed east to depart for Europe, Chuck had arranged to spend a weekend in Reno with Glennis. Hey, I know Reno. I'm assuming he means Reno in in Nevada. Which, fun fact, I actually just found out today that my mother managed to take photos of Chuck Yeager flying his P-51D um, at the Reno Air Races back in, it was either 1982 or 1983. Got pictures of him outside of his aircraft, a book he signed for my dad, and pictures with him in his aircraft flying a lucky participant who won a raffle to fly with the late great Chuck Yeager. So that's like really cool, right? That's super cool. Okay. Let's see. The 357th. What is that? Is that another one? Okay. Let's see. See if that's what he flew when he went up against those 262s. Not 100% sure. Gosh, there's so many of these guys. There's so many. Got the 363 and the 357. Oh my gosh. Why are these not organized? Or maybe they are organized, I'm just a dum-dum. I don't know. There we go. Oh, that's pretty cool. Hmm. I'm not seeing the ones that he did specifically, but oh, I guess we'll just stick with that. Alright, so we got this guy here. We'll apply that. And we'll get a buddy flying with him. We'll get 4 in the sky there. We'll get another P-51. That's a P-47, dum-dum. Come on! There we go. Here, I'll give us both drop tanks to simulate the fact that we're going deep into enemy territory. And then for hostiles, we're going to be going up against 2 Me-262s. Is that our ME, or did they leave it on label it under something different? I know half the time I say ME, but they really mean BF for a lot of the German aircraft. Far much further. Ah. Ah. Okay, I don't know which version he flew up against, but we'll just pick this one. Alright. Altitude, we'll say 1500, probably 2000. Nah, it needs to be higher than that. What am I thinking? We'll go 5,000. Target. Target's going to be an airbase. Actually, I would do a... Yeah, do airbase. Airbase. What? I don't know where that's at. Crimea? Sure, why not? We'll just do it in Crimea. That doesn't sound like a place we should go, but we'll just do it anyway. Bombing armor now? No, we're not gonna bomb armor. Yeah, just go after that. There you go. That's a somewhat close to Western Europe, right? Right now, historians are watching this and cringing so hard. I'm sorry. This, I just came up with this. This was all impromptu. I wasn't expecting to wake up to hear the sad news. But at least he lived a long and accomplished life. Oh no, I screwed up. You know how I screwed up? My IR tracker isn't working. I haven't set it up yet. Which means I cannot look around and check for targets. That's not good. That's not good. That's bad. I might as well be blind. Alright. We got some buddies in the area. Ah, there they are. I should really be up. Why are you speaking Russian? I'm so confused. Why are we here? What? Who are you? Why are you speaking Russian? Oh, this is gonna be so awkward, guys. I'm so sorry. Dropping bombs, huh? Yep, they're dropping the bombs. The question is, where are the bad dudes? Oh, I think two found some. I wish I could just look over there with my head, but I can't. So stupid. Oh. Enemy fighters. Oh shit. There they are. Oh, this is bad, guys. This is bad. I have no control of my head movement. Oh, this is bad. Ah, what? Did they get hit? Oh, I must have got hit with flak. Ah, there they go. Ah, there they go. Oh, they're so fast. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I have to have one hand on my flight stick and the other one on the freaking number pad just to look around. Oh, this is so trash. Oh god. It's not a good idea. I have no clue where they are. I've already lost situational awareness. I have no SA. No SA at all. Oh gosh. Let's get back there. Alright. 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 Oh gosh. Oh, there. Gosh, I feel like I'm George Costanza right now. I got no SA, Jerry. No SA at all. Ah. Why are they so fast? Oh, it's right there. Right. Come on, tag him. See, right now, the only way I can keep up with a jet fighter like the Me-262 is through a dive. And that is eventually, I believe that was a tactic that was used by pilots who engaged these deadly aircraft in order to maintain speed with them and to get some shots off. Just level flight just doesn't hack it. You know, these jet fighters can just pull away no problem. You know, their speed was so tremendous. You know, they could just pull away no problem, just go right into the clouds. But a disadvantage they have was that the early jet engines of the Me-262. Man, I'm getting close. Okay. Come on. Deflections. Oh, smoked them! Alright, let's slow it down a little bit. Ah, come on. Alright. He's smoked. He's not going anywhere. Yeah, he's going down. So, like I was saying earlier, the early engines for the German Me-262s were very temperamental. You fluctuated the power too much on them with throttle manipulation, and they could catch on fire. So, if I remember correctly, this is all the knowledge I've obtained like years ago. So I'm reaching back through my bag of knowledge that's, you know, probably over 10 years old. It was common for the pilots to very much ease in and ease out of their throttles. So power changes between like landing or taking off, stuff like that, was very minimal to keep the, I can't even see where it went, to keep from accidentally to keep from having the engines caught on fire, you know, so they won't catch on fire. Shit, where is that? Gosh, is he right on my ass? He's probably right on my ass. I hear power flight. What the? Was that him? Oh crap! He's right there. Yeah, so because of which their movement could be predictable if they're taking off or landing. You know, they didn't really manage the throttle all that much outside of what they were able to do. Like, see right now, he's pulling away from me, no problem. I am not catching up with him. What I gotta do is I gotta climb. I gotta get some altitude, so that way I can dive on him. That way I can maintain my speed. That's how we were able to catch the other guy. But see, look at that. He's climbing. Look at that, he's climbing. Look at how deep how deep that climb is. Or I should say how steep that climb is. And he's still pulling away from me. Uh-oh. I think he's gonna dive on me. I think he's gonna dive on me, guys. I'm not going that fast. I'm only going around 230 kilometers. Why is it in kilometers? Well, because this game was made by a Russian team, and they like to do everything in kilometers, so I didn't change it yet. Alright, where'd he go? Okay, he went over there. Alright. Oh my gosh. I might as well be flying with one hand tied behind my back. I'm trying to fly this thing with a fixed head movement. Your head needs to be on a swivel with this type of game. Alright, now look at our speed now. We're now going like around 400 something. We can now catch up. Oh, he's gonna cut us off. Ah. I don't have subtle head movement. I'm head banging. Oh, now he's diving down even. Wow, where are you going? I want to overshoot him eventually. All right, so we're getting closer. Gosh, I'm now going 550 kilometers an hour. Oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look what he's doing. We're going for a loop. Ah, the head movement! Alright, bring the power down. Alright. Man, this guy, he's keeping that throttle forward. Look at that. He's just gonna pull away from me. How much fuel do I have in this thing? Eventually, I'm gonna run out. All right, maybe I'm a little far, but maybe I can pepper off a few shots. Oh, he's getting closer. He's getting closer. Ah. Oh. Oh, he's getting closer to the ground there. There he is. Let's get him while he's rising. I'm gonna run out of ammo here pretty quick. Oh, got him! I'm getting slow, getting slow. Oh, he ejected. That's it. Let's get out of the way here. We don't want him falling on us. Oh, there goes the pilot. Oh, rip pilot. Oh my god, if you were to tell me I would be able to take out a couple of ME-262s with no head movement control other than a D-pad, or I mean other than the keypad on a keyboard, I'd tell you were nuts. Then again, they weren't exactly on the most difficult setting, and they weren't human players. If those were human players, I'd be knocked on my ass so hard. There's just no comparison. Alright, where'd the rest of the group go? I'm lost deep in the enemy territory. I don't know where I'm at. Alright, so they're heading back there. Alright. I need to go that way. You know what also does not help me? The fact that I forgot to drop my frickin' drop tanks. Look at that. Those things add a lot of weight and additional drag, so it becomes much harder for me to maneuver. And yet, I didn't drop them at the first sign of trouble. Man, what a noob I am. You know, here, let me see if I can drop it. That's not it. There we go. Simulated drop. Now we should be okay with fuel. You know, we're only heading back home now, so. Alright, so we need to go that way. Gosh, I really wish I could see my... Oh my gosh, why do you go so... Why? Why? I just want to see my I just want to see my fuel gauge. As you can see, it is possible to fly in this simulator without an IR Tracker 5 to track your head movements. However, I highly discourage it if you are going to be going against actual people online. They will tear you a new one. Alright, let's get my trim set up here again. Going awfully fast here. Nose wants to keep raising up. Look at that industrial zone over there. I wonder what that's supposed to represent. We're supposed to be in Normandy here. There's St. Lo. We're flying over St. Lo. Okay. Carentan. I've watched Band of Brothers. Yeah, there's the... Is that pronounced Khan or Kane? I don't remember. Point to Hawk. Yeah. Yep, those are the beaches that we landed at D-Day. Alright. Alright, let's speed this up a little bit. That's not it. I'm just kidding. There we go. Ah! What happens when you put the speed up and you decide to hit the trim just a little bit, it accelerates it big time. Oh, look up there. Those are the bombers ready to land? Is that what they're doing? I hope that's what they're doing. Wingman. Air. Okay, how do I make sure that everybody's RTBing? Because I honestly don't know. I don't really play IL-2 Sturmovik all that much. I should. This game, even though this game is really old, you know, this game's almost 20 years old by now. This game is still really good, you know. And you can get this game, I think, on Steam for about like 10 bucks. I'm playing this through GOG. They had it originally before it eventually came to Steam. Let's see, let's talk to ground control here.
Red leader, this is the tower. Go ahead. You're clear for landing.
Okay, cool. So, let's see, that is located not too far. Right there, actually. Alright, I'm clear to land, so... Alright, let's do a little brake. Start bleeding off air. Raise my air brake, right? Air brake, right? Right? Air brake. Air. Where's my air? What? Do I have my air brake even programmed? Please tell me I have my air brake programmed. Oh, are these guys gonna land?
Я 6-й. Разрешите посадку. Я 7-й. Разрешите посадку.
These guys are all landing now, it looks like.
Я 8-й. Разрешите посадку.
I should preface this by saying that I don't have a whole lot of training in landing these kind of aircraft. I got some practice in, but that was like years ago. Alright, so now I need to bring up a little bit.
Посадку не разрешаю. Уходите на второй круг. Я 8-й. Ухожу на следующий круг.
Get the gear down. Oh boy. Alright, you guys wish me luck. It's been a long time since I've landed a prop-driven aircraft, and I don't know what's going to happen. What I do know is I need to throttle up because I am probably way under the glide slope. For those of you who are unaware, when you land an aircraft, the flight characteristics change in order to land. Usually you use your stick to go up and down, use your throttle to go faster or slower. Well, it's the exact opposite when you land, because you're basically going on a controlled crash, essentially, to where it is the slower you go, the faster you descend, and the faster you go, the... let's see what happens here. Oh gosh, I'm bouncing. Alright. Oh gosh! Oh god. Okay, that was my fault. Yeah. Landing is a little different. It was okay, I bounced a bit, which isn't great, but I managed to get it on the ground. The only problem is that, unlike modern aircraft, the aircraft back in World War II were all tail draggers, essentially. So when I landed this guy, and then I applied the brake, because for some reason my air brake isn't working, when I applied the wheel brake, my nose decided to take a dive because only the brakes in the front are the ones that are capable of slowing down the aircraft when on the ground. So I literally took a nosedive for a brief moment before I let off the brake so I can hit that third wheel in the back. But hey, we made it on the ground, so you know what? I'll count it. I mean, the poor guys in the back are going to have some problems trying to land since I'm partially in the way and I can't move now because my prop is all bent. But hey, it's the little victories, right? Awesome. All right. I'm gonna take a quick moment here and see if I can get uh, the IR tracker working. So that way we will have a much better chance of going up against a bigger, heavier armed group. So don't go anywhere. The dance is going to take a quick break, and then we will dive into the next set, facing against a bigger, tougher enemy. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to do another sortie. Although this time I think we'll make it a little more organized. Which one is this? A lone, heavy damage B-17 is trying to make it back to our lines at the British base at Eindhoven. Most of the crew are dead or wounded. Make sure this thing's back safely. Already Germans are taking interest. Okay, so this sounds like something that if I remember correctly, I think this is I'm pretty sure Chuck did bomber cover. You know, if you're flying a P-51D in late war, I mean that's that was one of the biggest things was you were the little buddies to the big friendlies. Yeah, in Chuck Yeager's World War II career, I don't remember if I said, but he did get 11 and a half confirmed kills. Oh, there we go. Much better. All right, so we're with our P-51 group here. Yep, they're right there. All right, now I need to focus. Okay, so there's the wounded bomber right there. So we're going to be intercepting it here pretty quick. Alright, so where are they located? Probably below us, maybe. Okay, we passed him, so... There he is. Alright, so... what we need to do is we need to maintain our speed and altitude up here. And do a zigzag pattern, essentially. We're basically just going to be overshooting our big brother down there. So that way we can maintain a fast airspeed and the altitude advantage. So that way if we find any baddies coming into the area, we can use this airspeed and the altitude advantage to trade for more speed. We can get to the enemy first and try and shoot down as much as we can before they go after our B-17 buddy here. Uh-oh. Speaking of which, we got some bad dudes behind us. Any bad dudes in front? I know this is cheating, but, you know. Alright, so... Alright. Well, gosh, I really gotta set my trim. Ah, whatever. Red out. Yep, I'm aware. Alright, red flight. Attack fighters.
Roger. We'll take care of them.
Oh, they're up here. Those combat flaps won't be as fast, but we'll be able to turn faster.
This is 3. I've got it. Hold on.
Alright, we're going underneath the clouds here.
This is 2. Sam, where my tail? This is 2. I'm bailing out. This is 2. I'm taking hits.
Getting slower here. Need to dive back down. There you go, because we're getting close to stalling speed, so I'm surprised we didn't stall back there. Alright, where'd he go? Oh, there he is. That's a hell of a deflection. Now I'm getting shot. I'm getting shot. I don't know how bad it is. Come on.
Number 4. Dead. Anybody? 10 o'clock high. Need some help over here. I'll be right there. This is 3.
Ah.
Anybody? I need some help over here. Number 3. This is
Well,
3.
since I'm getting shot at, during Chuck's World War II career, he actually got shot down. I think it was after his first or second confirmed air-to-air kill. He was. Where was he shot down exactly? I have trouble remembering. But he managed to evade capture for I think about
Need some
3
help over
days.
here.
Oh man, this is not good. How bad is it? Oh, well,
I've had it. I'm bailing
that's
out.
really bad. I have no elevator. This basically determines whether or not I can go up or down. How am I have no elevators. How am I able to? Well, I guess it's important to point out that this is somewhat a low fidelity sim, so it's not the absolute most realistic one in the world, but okay, yeah, I need a jump. I should have jumped a while ago, but, you know. Oof. Yeah, that was my fault. I should have jumped a while ago. Well, uh, well, probably not so much in a fashion such as this, but Chuck Yeager did manage to get himself shot down, once, while in Europe. Oh, good, the secondary target, was complete, so that's good. He managed to evade capture for 3 days until he was eventually spotted by a friendly farmer who took him in and got him connected with the French resistance group. And eventually they were able to get him back um, to the Allies, although I think there was some difficulty in doing so, as I don't think he was able to communicate with them very well. Of course, this is all me just kind of pulling out of my random bag of knowledge. Um, feel free to, uh, look the guy up. Just make sure everything that I'm saying is 100% factual. I do the best I can to try and keep things 100% factual, but you know, time has a tendency to make your memory a little rusty. But interestingly enough, there is a policy where pilots that were shot down were not allowed to fly, I think, with their air group, or maybe just fly in general. I have to double check. It's been a while, but because he was shot down, and he worked with the French resistance to get him back to Allied lines, the concern is that because he knows who he worked with, and if there's a chance for him to get shot down and then captured, he may be interrogated and may be at risk as to basically selling out the people who work with him in the French resistance. And so initially he was not allowed to rejoin his air group, but after talking to some very key people in the department, he was able to get back on with the squadron. So, pretty interesting stuff. I didn't know about that. If any of you who have watched the movie The Right Stuff, either the one from the 80s or the one that's actually on Disney Plus now, the Chuck Yeager that is spoken of in those films is indeed the same Chuck Yeager that is also a great World War II ace. Oh gosh, what am I doing? Not doing my job, apparently. Alright, guys. Red flight.
This is 3. Roger. We'll take care
Attack
of
the
it.
fighters. And we had the height advantage. We lost the height advantage. Now we got a lot of speed. The problem is they're really out there. Gosh, I got a bad feeling we're not going to catch up to him in time. We screwed the pooch on this one, guys. We let our big brother down. How heavy can we push this thing? 100%. There we go, 110%. Or emergency power. I think this constitutes as an emergency, right? They're way up there. Guess they're gonna start dive bombing on them. When the average person thinks about air combat, they tend to think about fighters getting involved in the dogfight or the circle fight. You know, that's what fighters do. You know, in order to gain an advantage on someone by getting behind them and shooting them down. And that's only half true. You know, aircraft that are designed to go in the tight circle fight, you know, definitely follow that principle. Oh shit. Well. We may have lost the big guy, but maybe we can take a few of these guys down with him. Okay, you see what they're doing right there? They were on the perch. Basically, they were at high altitude. They dove down, used the speed
We need help!
to fly really fast. Dive bombed essentially, or basically did a attack strafe on them, and then used that extra speed they gained to regain their altitude advantage. You know, basically get them a lot higher. All right, this guy's right out in front of us. Ah. Oh. Ah. What the hell? What's going on? Oh shit, did I black out? Oh no.
Number 1, get out. Hit the sill.
What happened? What? Okay. A couple theories. Either I blacked out from pulling G's
Get him off me.
and went into G-lock, I think it's called. Or maybe I went way too fast in a dive and ended up in a situation that many of those other pilots found themselves in when they started going so fast that they eventually broke the speed barrier and lost control of all their
Attention,
surfaces.
fighters. 8 o'clock high.
But whatever happened, unfortunately we completely botched this mission entirely.
Get him off me.
Damn. Well, unlike us, Chuck Yeager managed to have a very successful military career. And he continued on with his legacy by
This is 2.
getting involved
Anybody,
with
get him
the
off me.
X-1 Bell project. Alright, well, I'm going to end things right here. I didn't have a whole lot prepared for tonight. Just wanted to do something in honor of Chuck Yeager's memory. Chuck Yeager, you were an amazing pilot. You've accomplished so much for this country, and you are a hero of mine. I wish you the best. God bless, and Godspeed. Everyone out there, have a wonderful night, and I will see you all next time.